Gretch, I think I have figured out the hack to getting my perfect night's sleep, and it starts with my adjustable pillows from Coop Sleep Goods. I have the Eden adjustable, which keeps me cool, and I absolutely love it, Gretchen. Literally, when I go to sleep at night and I put my head on that pillow, I think about how much I love this pillow.
Well, after all, we spend a third of our lives in bed, so it really helps to get a pillow that's customized. Visit coopsleepgoods.com/happier to get 20% off your first order. That's COOP sleepgoods.com/happier.
Guess what? Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. You heard right, 99%. If you don't think so, maybe it's time to face facts. You're stuck in the past. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report. Learn more at discover.com/creditcard.
Lemonada.
I'm Gretchen Rubin, and this is A Little Happier. On the Happier with Gretchen Rubin podcast, Elizabeth and I often talk about reframing, the power of reframing. For instance, one effective way for me to reframe is to consider the reminder, don't treat a gift like a burden. I think back on a time when this idea helped me when my daughter Eliza was a newborn. When you have a baby that young, you have to take them to the pediatrician very frequently, and Eliza's birth had been complicated, so we had to go even more often than most people. I was complaining about this chore to my husband, Jamie, and he said, why don't you ask my mother if she'd do it? I bet she'd be happy to do it. And I immediately thought, no way! Nobody else gets to take Eliza to the pediatrician. I want to do it. In a flash, I went from I have to do it to I get to do it. Here's another example of reframing, a very striking example that I learned when I was writing my book, Life in 5 Senses. One counterintuitive fact that I learned is that while we humans are born with innate reactions to tastes, we don't have the same kind of strong inborn responses to smell. This makes sense. When we eat something, it can hurt us. So it's important that even a newborn can reject the bitter taste that often signals poison and favor the sweet taste that often accompanies nourishment. But nature doesn't threaten us with killer smells, and whether we think the smell of hyacinth, skunk, or spoiled milk is good or bad depends on our genes, what our mother ate before we were born, our culture, our personal history, our health conditions, changing fashion, so many factors. Also, context matters. Framing matters, because our expectations shape our experience. It turns out that if we are exposed to a scent and told that it's Parmesan cheese, we think it's an agreeable smell. But if we're exposed to the very same scent and told that it's vomit, we think it's a disagreeable scent. The same thing if we're exposed to a scent and told that it's needles from a pine tree versus disinfectant cleaner. Same smell, different reactions. Framing matters. Context matters. Our experience is very much shaped by our expectations. I'm Gretchen Rubin, and I hope this makes your week a little happier. From the Onward Project.